Good evening, everybody. My name is Jared, and this is my channel, Mazda B3K. This is going to be a 5-minute fix video to show you how to replace a speaker in your 1997 Ford E-150. Without further ado, let's get started. Alrighty, so here's the E-150. Now, it's a conversion van, but I think the club wagons had a similar setup. Someone can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But this has 6 main speakers. There are 4 that are considered the rear and then 2 that are considered the front, as per what the head unit sees. Now these are all Ford 6x8 speakers, which is a goofy size that is very specific to Ford, but because there's so many Fords on the road, everybody makes a 6x8. So locations, I'm in the middle of the van, so in the side opening door, on the passenger and driver in the rear. There's another one hidden down over here, kind of wedged between the seat and the wall. And then there is one over there in the door. And there is one over here in the door. So what this is going to cover is the actual speaker replacement itself. I'm not going to dig into the specifics of getting to, say, the front door speakers, because that falls under removing the door, which really it's a couple of screws and then you lift the door panel up and out, but that will be covered in another video. I'm just going to cover swapping the speaker itself. And you may say, wait, these are aftermarket speakers, they're not going to fit right. Well, not quite. I have in this bag, well, let me get them out, then I'll talk about them. Alright, if you want to make a straight, clean Ford setup, you can, and there's multiple companies that make it. Nullith is the one I went with. I mean, it's all Chinese companies anyway. But you can get these adapters that go to your Ford wiring to aftermarket wiring. So it's a super clean install. You don't have to do any cutting, crimping, soldering, heat sleeving, or shrink sleeving, any of that. It just works. So, like I said, these are Nulth. You can just type in Ford speaker adapter connector on Amazon or on Google. These will come up. So we're going to use these. And with that being said, I'm going to grab my Phillips screwdriver and we're going to go ahead and swap that guy out real quick. So as you can see, or let me defuzzify things here. We have 4 Phillips, 1 in each corner. They are not in very tight at all, so be gentle taking them out and then be gentle putting them in. And once we get that cover off, we'll work on actually getting the speaker out. Okay, here's our speaker proper, and once we get there, you will see some factory Torx. I want to say offhand those are T15 or T20. Let me go get my Torx. I can get an exact number for you, but there are 4 of them, and you'll just need to take them out. They're not in there very tight. Okay, so it turned out these were T20s. We've got all 4 of them out, and now you should just be able to wiggle the speaker out. I say that, and it's not budging. So let me go get a pry bar, see if I can't. Oh, wait. Let me see. No, that's different. Let me go get a pry bar and see if I can't gently pry on this, get it to pop loose. I think, based on what I see right there, let me zoom in real quick. There's a ring of butyl tape that helps hold the speaker in, so that's probably why it won't pop off. So I'll get a pry bar. Alrighty, so you can see I got it out. And then this is that butyl ring, and I'm just going to kind of try to shove it back up onto the metal there, because I have no desire for the, or you could peel it away, either or. I think they did that as a noise vibration harshness thing, so it wouldn't rattle when the speaker's going. So here's our speaker itself. As you can see, they designed it so that it had a connector straight off the speaker. Our setup's going to be a little bit different, but functionally the same. So all we need to do here is lift this tab, slide this out, and then our speaker will be free. Incidentally, if your side door won't open because cables are stretched out or the end caps are snapped, you can reach the appropriate cable through that hole and open it. So this is the first time I've had this door open since I've owned this van. The cross breeze is nice. Anyway, our speakers today are Kenwood KFC C6866S speakers. These are Ford 6x8s. They are true 6x8s, not the converter speaker that can do, I think it's 5x9 and 6x8. I can't remember the dimensions. But this is a true 6x8. It's meant for Ford and older Mazda. It is a fairly ho-hum speaker. It is not a component speaker because that's not how this system is set up. It's a good improvement over the stock speakers that go in here, but these are not going to blow you away, but they don't break the bank either. I got a pair of these for under $50 on Amazon. So yeah, and since we're replacing 6 of these, that was a factor. But I've put these in my Ford Fusion, really liking the sound quality in there now, so just bought some more. But anyway, I will get a speaker out and then we'll get things wired up and then we'll plug it all back in and put it up. Okay, give you a comparison. We have our Kenwood on the right, and you can see it has a pair of spade contacts for your speakers, your positive and negative. And then over here we have our Ford, and it's got that built-in connector. So what we're going to do is we have our adapters here. As you can see, they are already pre-terminated with a positive and a negative, so you can't mess it up. And it's already wired up into the connector. So we just, we're going to slide positive to positive. And if it's sticky, be careful. This little mounting board that they put these contacts on is not very strong, and you absolutely can and will break it if you shove too hard. So if it's sticky, you just kind of wiggle it. See how that one's trying to bend on me? You have to be careful with that one. I'll get that seated in a second when I can use both my hands. But now we get that, we have our connector, we just plug it in with its buddy over here, shove the extra cable inside the door, and done. Just make sure you either take the rest of that butyl tape off or you know, stick it back up, whatever you want to do with it. Alright, so here's the speaker. I mean, I have it upside down, but the holes are symmetrical, so if you want the Kenwood to be right side up versus upside down, doesn't really matter. I think it's more meant to go the other way since these are slots and these are actual holes. So it'll be a little easier if you were to flip this over with the Kenwood logo facing upward. But I've got this tacked in, I've got it connected, and now I'll make a test to make sure the speaker is indeed working. I can't record that because of YouTube music copyright rules, but I'll make a quick test, make sure that's okay. If it's okay, I'll finish putting this back together. Okay, so music's coming out. It sounds good, sounds way better. Context, all 6 of these speakers are blown. I'm not sure what the previous owner did, but generally you only blow them this bad if you're listening to music way too loud. And this is a 26-year-old van. Put those two together, those factory speaker cones just ain't gonna make it. So I'm gonna put that last screw in, I'm gonna put this grate back on, and this will be 1 speaker down, 5 to go. Life's good. Alrighty, you can see the enclosure's back in. All 4 Phillips screws are back in place. And that is it. So what I just did is going to be the same basic procedure for the speaker that's the companion to the middle here. It's under these running lights, kind of by the seat. It's going to be a little trickier to do everything because you don't have as much room. You can take the seat out. In this conversion van, they have a quick release, but then you got to lug a seat around. Or you can use a stubby Phillips and probably do what you need to do. Same procedure again. Sun's setting, that's why things are getting dark around here. For your two rears. And then back up front here, as I mentioned, you're going to have, for this era of Ford, there's going to be, you're going to pop that little plate off. You are going to take out, these are decorative right here. There's going to be, might be a screw in there somewhere, and then there might be a screw or two at the bottom. But there's going to be a couple of screws in the door, and then you lift up on the door card, lift up, and then pull back. And it'll come off. And then behind that, right around here, will be your speaker. And then it's just going to be those 4 Torx, and you swap it out. So that's it, folks. That's our how to swap a speaker video. Alrighty, folks. That's going to do it for this 5-minute fix. So if this video helped you out, if it entertained you, if you learned something, please consider sharing, and subscribing. That does help to grow the channel. Please also leave a comment. I like to read them, I like to reply to them, and I like to learn from them. Lastly, guys, remember, I make the mistakes so you don't have to. I'll catch you guys next episode.